Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Jacqueline from Jacqueline Rose Women's Health. You all know me already, so I don't think I have to introduce myself, but I have not gone live here for quite a while. So, welcome. If you are a new watcher, welcome. And if you have been in this space for a long time and have been following me from a long time, welcome back. So today I want to talk about two things that I know for sure. The first thing that I know for sure is that the foundation, cornerstone of women's health, of feeling well, feeling strong, feeling vibrant, having good energy levels, having focus and motivation, and being able to get up in the morning and complete and fulfill all the tasks that you set for yourself, being able to show up for yourself, for your family, for your work the way that you want to. The foundation and cornerstone of that is having strong, good hormonal health. The minute our hormones are out of balance or out of whack, for whatever reason, is the minute that we just can't show up the way that we want to, is the minute that we feel out of balance, that we feel something isn't right, and we just can't often put our finger on it. It can show up as brain fog. It can show up as low energy, feeling lethargic. It can show up as digestive problems. There are lots of ways that hormonal imbalance can show up physically in the way that we feel, and can show up in the way that we feel emotionally. Mood swings, not really feeling that we can sort of function in our day, feeling overwhelmed, feeling maybe that we just are not really working to our best ability. So this hormonal imbalance feeling can show up as very physical symptoms, it can show up as emotional symptoms, and it can show up as sort of cognitive issues, short-term memory loss, brain fog, like I mentioned, not being able to focus, not being able to complete tasks, just not feeling that we are really running at 100%, feeling that we are running either on empty or we're running at 50%. We have these dips during the day where we feel tired and lethargic and low energy. All of these things are really us not feeling 100% best self throughout the day. And a lot of this is triggered, is sort of the foundation stone of that is this hormonal imbalance. Now, there are a couple of ways that hormonal imbalance occur. Some of it occurs as natural, normal hormonal fluctuations throughout our life, often throughout our menstrual cycle, our monthly menstrual cycle, often through life stages such as perimenopause. We are going to have these natural, normal hormonal downturns where we don't feel our best. And after a few days, as our hormones sort of begin to rebalance themselves, we'll pick up and we'll feel energized again and able as if we can conquer the world. That often is normal, natural hormonal fluctuations. But often, especially in a woman's life, our hormonal imbalances occur for external triggers. There are external triggers that are creating this hormonal balance. And one of the key reasons of hormonal imbalance that is an external trigger is stress. And this is really what I want to focus on today, is stress as the external trigger for hormonal imbalance that is going to exacerbate any natural hormonal imbalance that we are going through. It is part of the natural cycle. This external trigger caused by stress is going to exacerbate and is going to accentuate how we feel, usually why and how we don't feel good or strong, or that we are, functioning well during the day. So let's talk a little bit about stress. Let's go a little bit deeper into stress, and how stress shows up and the different types of stress that there are. So the first most common form of stress is this stress that so many women experience, is this overwhelm. I'm so stressed out. I have a deadline or something is happening in my life that is triggering this acute stress. A work deadline, a an event, a family event that is coming, that, everyone's going to bombard you, or, coming to visit, family coming to visit, or a specific acute stress trigger that is this external moment in time stress. So that is sort of that common overwhelm stress that often we're experiencing. The other form of stress is a more chronic, low grade, consistent stress, lifestyle stress, often, where we feel that we're juggling lots of different things. We have a busy, stressful job that isn't just a work deadline, but is a consistent low grade stress. A family situation that is a consistent low grade stress, for example, aging parents. This low grade, consistent stress, where even if something worked better for you, like let's say you went to the spa for the day and you felt great after you came home from the spa for the day, you took, a mental health day or a day out for yourself. The next day, you'd be right back to square one, because you're living in this constant, chronic, 24-hour low grade stress where your life is just built around stressful situations. So that's the second type of stress. The third type of stress is trauma. Trauma maybe that you experienced a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That has, so your body has biologically and emotionally and maybe very physically gone through some trauma that happened in the past, but that trauma triggered a stress response in your body. And now that stress response is sort of lying there dormant and is impacting certain things that are going on in your life and the way that you are able, or very possibly unable, to show up. And the dormant trauma, the dormant stress trigger may be lying in your body waiting for some extra thing to happen that is going to put you over the edge. Or let's say you're going through perimenopause, which is this natural hormonal fluctuating time in your body, but it is now being exacerbated or being re-triggered, or your past trauma is being re-triggered by this normal natural hormonal fluctuation that is exacerbating or forcing you to revisit, forcing you unwittingly to revisit this past trauma. So that's the third type of stress. The fourth and final type of stress is biological stress. Stress from external environmental toxins, or environmental factors, or things that maybe you're eating, or exposure to harmful toxins without you even knowing it. So this biological stress on your body, because of external environmental toxins or exposure to toxins, again, that you may not even be aware of, for example, mold, or toxins that maybe you're being exposed to through exposure to certain environments, certain food that you're eating, in a building that may not have good ventilation. All these different things are external environmental toxin stress exposures that your body will interpret as stress, that your body will interpret as a trigger for hormonal imbalance. So we have covered 4 types of stress triggers on your body that are going to potentially exacerbate your hormonal imbalance, and therefore impact how you are able to show up, how you feel in your body. As I said, it will come out in all different ways, and for every person, they will be impacted in a different way. The way that the symptoms of stress and hormonal imbalance in your body will be very different to someone else, because you have your own unique health journey, and your health journey and your health story to where you are today is a critical factor in how stress impacts you, how stress shows up for you, and how stress triggers your hormonal imbalance. So, understanding all of that, how do we want to move forward? What do we want to do? Because often stress in our 21st century life is unavoidable. This chronic low-grade stress may be unavoidable. this acute stress of deadlines or family commitments or a kid's party that is going to put you over the edge, or anything that is an acute trigger may be unavoidable. Trauma stress that happened 5 years ago, you can't change that anymore because that happened in the past. And obviously, exposure to toxins that you may be unaware of, or exposure to environmental toxins that you may be unaware of, you can't necessarily change that. So what do you want to do? The first thing is, you really want to be assessing, how do you feel? What are your symptoms? And to really sit down and assess the symptomology of your health. What are you experiencing? What are you going through? Really break it down. You may need someone to help you, guide you through that, to really assess the symptoms that you are experiencing, to really understand the source of your hormonal imbalance and the type of stress that is triggering it. Once you've assessed your symptoms, once we can identify the source of your hormonal imbalance based on your symptoms, then we can start building a personalized plan for you to see how we can start mitigating those triggers, how we can start easing those triggers, how we can start improving or changing or managing the stress triggers that are triggering the hormonal imbalance, that are triggering the way that you feel and those symptoms. And again, often this is exacerbated in perimenopause, but not necessarily. You can be experiencing this type of health impacts, the symptoms, in your mid-30s. It doesn't have to be related only to perimenopause in your 40s. If you're leading a very stressed out life and you are feeling it, you are seeing it in your health and well-being and how you are able to show up or not show up every day, it may be that already in your 30s, we need to start doing this type of assessment, this type of analysis. So if any of this has resonated with you, I would want to recommend that you sign up for your health assessment. I call it a menopause health assessment, specifically for women who are 40 plus. But if this is really resonating with you and you are in your 30s, then we can do a hormonal health assessment where we really go through what you are feeling, what you are experiencing. As I said, identifying the symptoms, identifying why you are not feeling your best, why you're not feeling like yourself, why you're not able to show up for those around you to be able to function in your best capacity and best ability, to find the root causes of those, specifically the 4 types of stress that may be triggering your hormonal imbalance, how that's impacting you, and more importantly, what you can do to change that, to start getting proactive and start changing the way you feel by figuring out how we can reduce those stress triggers, personalized for your specific situation. So I hope that's been informative. I hope that's really helped you understand why you may not be feeling your best, and to understand how we can start changing that and start making a difference in the way that you feel. Have a fantastic day. I look forward to hearing from you, and know that there is plenty that we can do to really get you to feeling more like yourself, to really improve your health and well-being, and to create hormonal balance in a sustainable way. Have a fantastic day.